Hello everyone, Tina Spalding Trance Channel here today with a microphone. So those of you that were complaining about sound, hopefully this is better for you. I just want to say, as I'm going into this fourth day here, what an act of faith it is to trust that Jesus has interesting things to say for 40 days. I can feel myself going, have you got something interesting to say today? So, yeah, I'm going through my own challenges doing this, so you're not alone. Let's see what he has to say today. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus, and I have a lot to say. Do not worry, dear one. There is always more and more and more. Your journey here is an interesting one, as we say each day. And we want you to understand that your job is not to solve the problems of the world. This is something that many of you are feeling as a burden upon your shoulders now. What can I do to save the planet? Well, what we want you to understand, and this is going to be very challenging for some of you, is that the world arises from within you. So if you start trying to change the outside world without changing the inside world, you are wasting your time. As our dear one says, it's like moving the chairs around on the Titanic. You need to change the direction of the ship, not the chairs. So when you are rallying behind causes, and we want you to understand that we are not saying that you should not rally behind things that you believe in, but what we want you to do is not fight against that which you don't want, but fight for that which you do want, because energy given in resistance to what you don't want is energy given to the system that you don't want. You are not investing your tremendous creative powers and co-creative powers, the powers that you exert when you gather together to bring into being something you do want. You are wasting those powers and co-creative powers on the very system that you hate. And so this is a fundamental law of creation that you must understand if you want to change the world. The phrase, be the change that you want to see in the world, begins that process. If you want a kinder, more loving world, be kinder and more loving. But for most of you, that's not enough. You feel that you are kind and loving. But the Course in Miracles practice will take you deep in your mind. It will take you into areas of thought and inner conversation that you have never bothered to go into, or you have never valued because you think it's secret. You think that if you have a thought, I don't love myself, or I don't like myself, or I'm stupid, you say these self-derogatory things all the time in your own minds. You think that they are not powerful. They are as powerful as saying that out loud to somebody else. You would never say that out loud to somebody else. You would never look at someone and say, I think you're stupid and I think you're ugly. But many of you say it to yourselves, believing that on some level it's harmless because it's secreted away inside your mind. But what we want you to know here is that the material, physical world that you see, your society, your culture, your families, your work, every single one of those things began as an idea, a thought in the mind. It became physically manifested because you kept investing in it. And when you keep investing in things like, I am unworthy, you will manifest in front of you beings and systems that treat you as if you are unworthy. So we are talking here about this insidious inner voice that is constantly judging and attacking you, that exists within your mind because of the training that you've had. It can begin with parents who are critical or unloving or judgmental. It then goes into school systems that tell you that you're stupid because you got a D, or that you must conform to be considered good. This is a fundamental teaching of your society. You must conform to be considered good when you are 6 years old and 7 years old and made to line up behind the classmates, and you have to get up and down according to bells, and you're never allowed to say anything in disagreement with the teacher. years and years and years of this kind of training have led you to become beings who are afraid to speak up. So we want you to understand this. We want you to understand that you must retrain yourselves into believing that you are good regardless of your conformity. And this is what this entire situation in which you find yourselves today is reflecting back to you. It is showing you, and some people are astonished at how compliant people are. We are not astonished at all. We are not astonished at all, because we know what goes on in your minds. We know what goes on behind the scenes of your social face. And so we want you to begin to address that today. The inner thoughts that you have. Now, those of you that have been Course in Miracles students for some time have been doing this, but we want you to double down on your practice today. We want you to double down on your practice of these unloving ideas and thoughts that you entertain about yourself or others in your mind. Whenever you're walking along the street and you look at someone and you judge them, they're too fat, they're too thin, they're too beautiful, they're showing off their money, they shouldn't be going out with that person, he's too this, she's too that. Stop yourself and turn it around in your mind immediately and say, we are all valuable in the eyes of God, every single one of us, regardless of how much money we have or how we appear. You must begin to stop these unconscious judgments and bring forth a more loving demeanor within your own heart and mind. This is not about showing off for others how great you are. This is about calling yourself out on your own hatefulness. Some of you who have not done A Course in Miracles will say, I am not hateful. I never do things like that. But we challenge you today to pay attention to your inner dialogue. Pay attention to what you say to yourself in the mirror. Pay attention to yourself. Pay attention to what you say to yourself when you're getting dressed. Pay attention to what you say to yourself as you head off for work. Pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. These are not secret thoughts. They are emitting a frequency of unlovingness that will return to you 1,000-fold. Your universe reflects back to you that which you are doing. And this is where this idea of bad things happening to good people and good people being very, very confused. They help charities, they help little old ladies across the road, they're kind and generous to other people, but their internal dialogue is hateful. And they do not understand how creative it is, how pervasive it is, and how powerful it is. So that is your assignment this morning, to listen to your inner dialogue today and stop yourself the second you hear something unloving in your mind. Turn it around and say the opposite as if it's true. It will eventually become true for you, but today it will feel perhaps like a lie. But stop and listen to those inner voices. They are the ones that are miscreating unconsciously out in the world in front of you. I am that one that you know as Jesus, and I'll speak to you again later today. I apologize for the little bloop. That was my friend messaging me on Skype. I forgot to turn my Wi-Fi off, so lesson learned, Wi-Fi is off tomorrow. Thank you for joining me today, and I'm going to be vigilant for any unloving thoughts I have today, and I encourage you to do the same. I would like to make one mention here today, as Jesus kept his transmission pretty short. I do have a new book available on Amazon. It is called A Year of Forgiveness, and it is an illustrated compendium of all of the transcriptions of the Jesus commentaries from last year. It is available right now in Kindle format, full color Kindle format, if you want to have it digitally. Come late October, it will be available in a hard copy, and I'm very excited about the hard copy because it's an officially sanctioned companion text to A Course in Miracles, and it has what I've always wanted, which is gold edges on the book. So that's my the gift that my publisher gave me. I said to her I wanted gold edges on the book, and she agreed. So I would really love your support for my publisher. She has been an amazing support for me through the years. She took me on as a completely unknown author, and she has brought thousands and thousands of these books into the world for everyone to have. So please consider purchasing that book either in Kindle format, which you can do now, or in hard copy, which will come out at the end of October. I really thank you for your support. I'll see you later today. Bye.